Hello everyone, I'm Titania Jordan, Chief Parenting Officer at Bark Technologies, and I have a guest. Today, right here, we have Brandon Hilkert, CTO, that stands for Chief Technical Officer, dad of two, and basically the reason why y'all are all gonna get a Bark phone. So, cue the applause. Can we get some applause sound effects going on? Yes. Ah, awesome. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna shut up, and I'm going to let you do the talking in terms of why. Why we have this amazing footprint. We have monitoring. We have the Bark Home. We're in schools. We know about the effects of screen time and more kids having phones. Why are we launching a phone?
Yeah, the phone's been a long time in the making. It was, I remember 5 years ago, we all sat around and sort of talked about our ambitions for the future, what Bark could do to better help parents. And we talked about a phone, and it seemed really far away. And the natural progression of Bark, by doing monitoring and then screen time, and parents are asking nonstop, when do I get a phone? And what phone do I get, and why? And all these other questions. And we've made apps, the Bark Kids app, to put on a phone that they have. And to date, that's been our solution. And our years of experience of learning about what parents want, what they don't want, what they don't like, how kids react to that integration has taught us that there were some ways that we could do this better. And the way to do it better was to make our own phone. It gave us more power over the experience. It gave us more controls that parents have asked for in a way that was seamless, more tamper-proof, and just smooth. And we've been the benefit of parents coming to us asking for solutions. We've been lucky to be able to provide them well. And this phone is sort of the culmination of all that information and bringing, we feel like the best product to the market.
Absolutely. For those of you who don't have the honor, it is an honor, and I'm not just blowing smoke, of knowing Brandon Hilkert, I could not appoint a better person in the planet to make sure kids across the globe get a safer smartphone. He's a dad of two, and is just, we have a literal hashtag for him, and it's hashtag Hilkerting, because whatever he does it efficiently, and he does it very thoughtfully. And full disclosure, we do not feel that more kids need more smartphones. We're not trying to make sure every kid gets a smartphone sooner, or that more kids are spending more time in front of screens. But we know that more kids are getting smartphones.
It's the reality.
Yeah. And so if they are going to get a smartphone, let's make one that is as safe as possible.
That's right.
Let's talk about the differences, right? Because we didn't want to just launch another phone for kids when they already have options out there that wasn't differentiated. So what's the difference?
The difference is talking about the tamper-proof nature of it. So these controls are built into the phone and made for enterprises that want to enforce rules, whether it's encryption, allowance of certain apps, not allowing other apps. They're all rules that are built into the phone and are difficult to get around. And so the focus has been, we've heard from parents with the Bark Kids app was, there were opportunities to toggle things off. Parent would still get an alert, but it was tricky to balance that conversation with your kid and having the opportunity to turn it off. And so this allowed us to build something that was robust. It still provides all the protection that the Kids app has done historically. So the monitoring of Snapchat, monitoring of TikTok, Instagram DMs, all that is still included. But we've layered on additional features with the phone to really take it to the next level. And a couple that are worth mentioning: contact approval. And so you texting, calling numbers that you don't know. As a parent, you can say, look, I only want my kid to talk to these 3 numbers. Maybe it's you and your spouse or other family members, friends that you trust. Beside that, you get a call from an unknown number, doesn't go through. Try to text an unknown number, doesn't go through. As a parent, you have complete control over the communications, inbound and outbound, that your kid is experiencing. Further, the App Store. We've seen a lot of phones come focused on kids that have a curated app store, which often means they don't get to take advantage of all the apps in the store. There's pro and cons to both of those approaches. We felt like we wanted this phone to start with the kid at whatever age they get a phone. Parent has complete control over whether it's locked down or not, and then grow with them until they are 18, maybe even more. And this phone won't be a kiddie phone. It won't have kid branding. It won't have cartoons on it. It'll be as controlled as the parent wants it to be. So if you want to go and download Spotify from the music store so they can listen to music, welcome to. You can have access to the full App Store, the full Google Play Store. As a parent, you can choose to require approval for apps. So they download Snapchat. The app is disabled from the start. As a parent, you can say, I want to allow that, or I want to block it. If they block it, the app will be removed from the phone without the kids or the parent's intervention. And so you have a full stream of the kid exploring the App Store. We want that, right? We want them to explore the information. That's how I learned computers, was going on the internet and reading and learning. There's great stuff on the internet. There's also some not so great stuff. And those two protections for both contacts and apps, we feel like give those protections to allow the kid to explore the good of the internet while protecting some of the bad. The last notable feature is our kids app always had check-ins, location check-ins. It has location alerts that allows the kid to go to school, a friend's house, and get an alert, say, hey, they arrived or they left school. This will allow constant monitoring of the kid's location, and that's something that parents have asked for. We felt like this phone was the opportunity to provide that accurately. So the parent will be able to look at a map, see where the kid is at the moment, and get that peace of mind, that they're safe and they're where they feel like they should be.
So here's a little secret, which might not be a secret. I'm jealous of you. And it's because your children are still young enough to reap the benefit of this first experience. My son's 13. He has an iPhone. And I wish I could go back in time and get it right from the start. And I'm so excited for you and everybody who will be getting this phone for their children, because you will actually be able to get it right from the start. Initially, we launched a solution that was the best solution out there for what was out there. And now we're taking it to the next level. And that's major thanks to you and the team. It's unprecedented what we're doing. And I'm so excited. In fact, off camera, we've got a dad of 3. It sounds pretty good, right? Yeah, it's like everybody we tell about this, they're like, this is amazing. This is really happening? Yes, this is really happening.
Yeah, and for me, my daughter's 10, and she's the perfect guinea pig, right? So I'm making it, I'm handing it to her. She's trying things, she's working with it. She's excited to get it. She's been asking for years for a phone, and naturally we've said, no, I don't think so. And this phone is for her. I'm making it for her. And a lot of parents have asked, have you tried it with kids? And we certainly have, and we certainly will continue to. But it's great to have the opportunity and the ability to design a phone for my kid.
It really is. And I am thinking back to the anecdotes we hear about social media founders and tech founders who go out of their way to remove that influence from their children's lives because they've seen the impact it's had. Yeah. And to know that you've designed this with your children in mind, that gives me and everybody watching, I know, peace of mind. Yeah. There's so much to cover here, and it's just so cool to have you here. I'm like, what else? For a lot of the nitty-gritty details that we might not be covering during this footage, Brandon took some of his very valuable time and joined Parenting in a Tech World and dropped a post. And we'll actually drop a link to that post anywhere that this lives online. There's a Facebook group, Parenting in a Tech World, where Brandon popped in, shared all the details that we could publicly about the Bark phone. And let's see how... Okay, 393 comments and going. So really, any question that you might have, feel free to drop it there. We'll be popping in periodically just to check it out and make sure you know what there is to know about getting your kid, the safest possible smartphone option out there if you're going to give your child a smartphone. Big asterisk on the if. Yeah. Let's talk about how we're differentiating things from a plan perspective and just eliminating those hurdles.
Yeah, so the phone's going to come with everything you'd expect of a phone, charging cable. We're going to include a case, so you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to go down to the store and find a case because we're worried the kid's going to trash it. Comes with cell service, right? So every plan's going to get unlimited talk and text. The plans will be differentiated starting at $49 based on how much data you want, right? So if you don't want to allow the kid to browse the internet, but you want text message and everything, the starter plan at $49 would be a great start. And then beyond that, it's just about how much data, right? So if your kid streams a lot of music, watches videos, whatever, kind of up to you, decide what price point you want and how much data you want. Very similar to any kind of cell plan you get at the store. So it'll come with the cell service, the phone itself, there's no upfront costs, there's no contract. You can cancel at month 2, month 10, whatever you want. And our goal is to have this fit your family's needs and not be about you on the hook for a $300 phone that you have no use for later or trying to make use of. And the goal is really to grow with the phone and have it grow with the kid as they get older. They maybe need less controls in place. And it'll certainly work just as well for a 10-year-old as it would for an 18-year-old, including the cell plan. And it'll come with a Bark Premium subscription. So the good news is that if you have that today, we will adjust your plan and prorate the remaining amount left and apply it to the subscription. So if you have premium today, you'll get that included, which means you'll be able to cover all the other kids in your family. Maybe you have younger kids. You'll still be able to cover them. You'll be able to cover your kids' other devices. So if they have an iPad at home, maybe you have a Bark Home and you also have some gaming systems, smart TVs. It'll cover all that as well with no additional cost. So it'll just be the cost of the phone starting at $49. And then it'll include all that. And you can obviously have multiple phones if you want, multiple kids, but it'll be a simple pricing, something that we feel like our customers have benefited from, the unlimited kids, connections, whatever it is in your account, simple pricing. We're not here to add extras. We're here to make it simple and help.
Oh my gosh, let's emphasize that. Maybe even repeat it over and over, is make it simple and help. And that's what I love about what we're doing, is because we don't have time for that. I don't have time to go, call my provider and be like, can you add this thing to my thing? And then figure out, is my bill going to be okay? No, it's going to arrive and you're going to turn it on and it's ready to go.
Yeah, we wanted that one-stop shop.
Yeah.
Is you don't have to buy the phone. Other makers have you go down the street, get your cell coverage. And I know a couple families have mentioned wanting to add it to their plan. But, we felt like just having one bill for the whole thing just made sense, and no upfront costs, right? We don't want you to have to shell out $400 for the phone and then have to worry about, I'm stuck with this, right? I don't quite like it, it doesn't fit. So the monthly cost helped us simplify it. And I think for families as well too, there's not a lot of commitment up front. We're not going to go through credit checks and run your driver's license just to get a phone and walk out the door with a cell phone. This is as fast as you can order something on Amazon, you can order a Bark phone as well, and it'll be at your door in a couple days, and you'll be off to the races with a new phone number.
You turn it on, it'll work, and it'll be protected.
Yeah, and further, you don't have to mess with the phone as a parent.
Yeah.
You give it to the kid, and that's it. It's locked down with a default policy that restricts access. And then for you can go to the parent app and turn things on or off as you wish. You don't have to ever touch the phone again. It auto updates itself. All the settings that you change are relatively instantaneous within a couple seconds. There's no waiting, just works.
It just works. This is so exciting. And oh my gosh, I know everybody out there watching is like, great, when can I get it? How do I get it? Don't worry, we will make sure you have those links and that ability ASAP. One question that I want to make sure we cover before we wrap is, how is the Bark phone different from having Bark Premium? Why can't parents just go, or why shouldn't parents just go get a phone and sign up for Bark Premium?
Yeah, I think it starts with that kind of tamper-proof mentality, and the tools we're using with the phone allows us to get real native control of the operating system and control things that we couldn't do when we just add an app to it. So you can certainly buy a phone, an Android phone, add the Bark Kids app, get the monitoring that you're used to, get the location alerts, get check-ins. But again, those features like restricting apps from the App Store, right? Or restricting contacts your kid can text or call, or the location tracking, right? There's just a few more options on top of this that we feel round out the offering that parents have been asking for. And further, the cell service, it's just simpler, if you do the math of adding up, going to get cell service, buying the phone separately, going to pay for Bark, as a premium subscription. If you add that up, you're going to be better off just getting a phone, in one price, and that's it. And so this will be the best product on the market for kids, hands down.
I'm so excited. Yeah, I can't thank you and the team enough. We've got over 100 people working at Bark. And so major thank you to everybody who's a part of the Bark family working on this mission to help keep kids safer online, to empower parents, to educate the market, and to embrace tech as a tool, because it is a tool.
Yeah.
Can be used for bad, can be used for good. We want to make sure kids, if and when it's time for them to have access, we can mitigate that bad and just embrace the good. And this is not only a game changer, but this is like life changing. So it's an honor to work with you. I'm so thankful for all that you do. Everybody out there watching, listening, if you are going to get your child any sort of connected device, especially coming up on holiday season or any big life event, please consider the Bark phone. It will be the best option if you're going to be doing that. So check out the link below. Share this. Leave a comment. We love that engagement. And we'll be here to answer any questions you have.